you have it, folks. The Jack Smith cases against Donald Trump have been officially dropped. Jack Smith has put in the filing to drop these charges against Donald Trump. But I'm telling you guys, if Donald Trump does not do what needs to be done and does not go after these people and does not put them in prison for the crimes that they have committed, this conspiracy against rights, these trumped up charges that are completely false, if he does not hold these people accountable for the lawfare that they have committed, not just against him, but against his lawyers and against others as well, if that accountability does not happen, these charges will likely come right back to haunt him. Let's get right into the news, ladies and gentlemen. From the Post Millennial, breaking: Jack Smith files to drop all charges against President Trump in J6 case and appeal in Mar-a-Lago case. Let's read. In a Monday court filing, special counsel Jack Smith filed to drop all charges in the January 6th case against President-elect Donald Trump. Smith also filed a motion with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit Monday to drop the classified documents case appeal that has been ongoing since Judge Eileen Cannon had dismissed the case in July. As a result of the election held on November 5th, 2024, the defendant Donald Trump will be inaugurated as president on January 20th, 2025. It has long been the position of the Department of Justice that the United States Constitution forbids the federal indictment and subsequent criminal prosecution of a sitting president. But the department and the country have never faced the circumstance here where a federal indictment against a private citizen has been returned by a grand jury and a criminal prosecution is already underway when the defendant is elected president. Smith wrote that after careful consideration, the department has determined that the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel's prior opinions concerning the Constitution's prohibition on federal indictment and prosecution of a sitting president applied to the situation and that as a result, this prosecution must be dismissed before the defendant is inaugurated. Now, my understanding of this situation is that these charges have been placed on hold, or at least that is what I am aware of right now. I could be wrong. But let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest here. These charges were already thrown out once. They were already thrown out by Judge Eileen Cannon before. All of these charges have been dismissed and thrown out. Jack Smith's cases were extremely weak. We all know this. And here they are. Here we are still having to go through this process of forcing this imbecile, Jack Smith, to throw these charges out. What does this tell you? It tells you that they are not against doing this again. Like Judge Eileen Cannon already threw these charges back in Jack Smith's face and said, "Stop, you're an idiot. We're not doing this. We're not doing this lawfare crap in this country." And he didn't care. He simply just filed the charges again and tried again. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. This is why the accountability for this garbage has got to happen. He's got to go after the people, these corrupt officials who are so willing to use lawfare against their political opponents. And if it doesn't get done, if the accountability doesn't get done, it's just going to happen again as soon as Donald Trump gets out of office. I'm telling you, as soon as Donald Trump gets out of office, they will try this again. It might not be Jack Smith, but it could be a state representative. It could be a state attorney general who goes after Donald Trump, and they will try this again. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of these Democrat states, plenty of Democrat AGs who would love to go after Donald Trump just like they did these last several years. Let's continue. Let's continue reading. That prohibition is categorical and does not turn on the gravity of the crimes charged, the strength of the government's proof, or the merits of the prosecution, which the government stands fully behind. Sure you do, bud. Based on the department's interpretation of the Constitution, the government moves for dismissal without prejudice of a superseding indictment under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 48A. The government has conferred with defense counsel, who does not object to this motion. The motion stated Smith asked that the charges be dismissed without prejudice. Smith's filing with the appeals court cited his feeling in the January 6th case, writing, as a result of the election held on November 5th, 2024, yada, yada, yada. We already read that. This comes as state-level cases have been placed in limbo following Trump's Election Day victory. The falsified business records case from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg has indefinitely been placed on hold with no sentencing being issued. That right there. These cases are being placed on hold. Here's the reality, folks. And this is exactly what I mean when you say that these charges can come back to bite him. If the lawfare is not dealt with, if the corruption of these AGs is not dealt with, if they're not held accountable criminally, as soon as Donald Trump gets out of office, these charges that have been placed on hold will be waiting for him in New York and in Georgia. I don't know. We'll see. Let's continue reading. With no sentencing being issued, a Georgia hearing set for whether Fulton County DA Fani Willis can remain on the state election case against Trump has been canceled. Trump Communications Director Stephen Chung said the American people re-elected President Trump with an overwhelming mandate to make America great again. Today's decision by the DOJ ends the unconstitutional federal cases against President Trump and is a major victory for the rule of law. The American people and President Trump want an immediate end to the political weaponization of our justice system, and we look forward to uniting our country. Trump wrote in a statement, "These cases, like all of the other cases I have been forced to go through, are empty and lawless and should never have been brought. Over $100 million of taxpayer dollars has been wasted in the Democrat Party's fight against their political opponent, me. Nothing like this has ever happened in our country before." They have also used state prosecutors and district attorneys such as Fani Willis and her lover, Nathan Wade, who had absolutely zero experience in cases such as this, but was paid millions enough for them to take numerous trips and cruises around the globe. Letitia James, who inappropriately, unethically, and probably illegally campaigned on getting Trump in order to win political office. And Alvin Bragg, who himself never wanted to bring this case against me, but was forced to do so by the Justice Department and the Democrat Party. It was a political hijacking and a low point in the history of our country that such a thing could have happened, and yet I persevered against all odds and won. Make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's got to end, man. It's got to end. This right here, this lawfare against Donald Trump that took place in an attempt to try and stop him from being able to take office again, this right here has been the first time that this has truly ever happened in this country. And Donald Trump needs to assure that it is the last time. We can't have this again, man. We can't, because the next time, I mean, the Democrats have already seen that it didn't work. It didn't work. So what they do the next time around will probably be, we're going to go 10 times harder against whoever we're trying to throw in prison. And let's be honest, we were on thin ice these last few years of whether or not this country is going to survive these things politically. Now, I'm not saying the country will fall apart, but your freedoms might. The Constitution might. These things can be, listen. This republic is fragile. And it revolves around the idea of the people who are in power following the traditional political norms as well as following the Constitution. This is a requirement for this country to function. And if the people who are in power choose not to do so, we very quickly fall apart. This country does. Now, the people might be able to rise up and rebel against a corrupt government and hold it together. But I don't want to have to do that, man. I mean, I don't want to have to freaking take up arms and fight to have to protect the Constitution. I simply want the government to freaking do their job. Now, of course, it's the government that we're talking about, and it's very often that they choose not to do their job. But I don't know, man. It's just, this stuff's got to stop. We need to ensure right now, within the next 4 years, that there is accountability, that there is justice that is done against these people who have tried to obstruct the procedures of our country. And we need to make sure that this is the last time that this ever happens in our country. This can never happen again. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. I'm going to leave it there. I'll have another video coming for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support this channel, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button below and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. It really helps us to grow the channel and get our message out to other people. Follow me on all the socials down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.